Secretary Carlin, I want to start where you did, just to acknowledge the Marines who were killed in the Osprey accident in Australia. And I want to mention their names. Corporal Spencer Collard, 21 years old, from Arlington, Virginia. Captain Eleanor LeBeau, 29 years old, from Belleville, Illinois. And Major Tobin Lewis, 37 years old, from Jefferson, Colorado. We have great partners in the Aussies, but we're in a dangerous line of work. And when people fall in that line of work, they ought to be recognized, particularly at a hearing like this. And I appreciate the fact that you began your testimony with that. AUKUS is a great example of how the U.S. can work hand in hand with allies to promote stability in the Indo-Pacific. And it's a good example of the way we do things globally. In Europe, we have NATO. We don't have a NATO equivalent in the Indo-PACOM, but we do have these networks of allies. And I do want to applaud the Biden administration work with South Korea and Japan. That Camp David meeting, it probably wasn't as big a headline here at home because we have good relations with Japan and South Korea. But the work of the administration to forge closer relationships between those nations, the mill-to-mill relationship has often been strong, but it's been limited by challenges at the political leadership level. That was a really important summit, and I just want to applaud the Biden administration on that. From my vantage point on the Foreign Relations Committee and as chairman of the Sea Power Subcommittee of Armed Services, this AUKUS partnership is very exciting to me. And it's also exciting because the Virginia-class submarines are built in Virginia and Connecticut. I had the opportunity to take Ambassador Rudd to our shipyard about a month ago to really dig into the tremendous assets we have, but also the challenges, some of the questions that have been directed about the current pace of production and how we can build up that pace not only to meet our own needs, but to meet the needs, the commitments that we've made in AUKUS. I want to follow up on a question that Senator Menendez put in. What if we didn't do Pillar 1? Pillar 2, I think everybody's excited about, and everybody's supporting Pillar 1. I think we're asking important detail questions. But there's a little bit of a chicken or an egg with Pillar 1 because Australia is going to make a historic investment in the U.S. industrial base. But they're only willing to make that investment if they know that during the 2030s, we will be willing to deliver to them 3 to 5 Virginia-class subs. If they make that investment, it will help us increase our pace of production. If they don't make that investment, it will be harder to increase the pace of production. We would like to be good on our commitment, but we're sort of saying, but we'll only be good on our commitment if we're confident we can increase our pace of production. Well, we'll be able to do that with the Australian investment. Without the Australian investment, it will be harder. So each side has something we definitely want to do, and each side has resources that can help each other, but we kind of have to get the timing of this right. Australia is not going to make the investment unless they have surety that there's going to be a deliverable for them. It would imagine going to the Parliament and saying, you know, let's invest billions in the U.S. submarine industrial base. The question is going to be, and what are the guarantees that the Virginia-class subs will be there? So we should use this historic opportunity of the Australian investment to enhance our ability to meet the production goals that we're talking about. And obviously, that's not just an Australian investment. We have been investing in the submarine industrial base in the last few years, and we have more to do. And the questions about how much more, I think, are fair questions. On your crawl, walk, run, if we were not to do the Virginia-class transfers, the ultimate goal is that Australia, which currently has no nuclear at all, I mean, the only nuclear Australia has is medical isotopes. They don't even have civilian nuclear. If we don't have this interim step of the transfer of the Virginia-class subs, the ultimate goal that Australia will build their own nuclear subs off a UK design but chock full of American technology, they would be significantly delayed in their ability to develop a domestic submarine manufacturing capability if there was not a timely delivery of this interim step. Because with the Virginia-class subs, they're already training their officers here in the United States to operate nuclear subs. The Virginia-class sub transfer would happen after we had done significant training of their workforce. And then with the Virginia-class subs, they're learning to operate nuclear subs and maintain nuclear subs, possibly to refuel nuclear subs. And all those skill sets are needed before they begin to be a world-class producer of their own nuclear subs in the 2040s and beyond. So the AUKUS framework, and I'm now just talking about Pillar 1, is train them, accept their investment so we can expand our industrial base, ramp up our production, deliver assets to Australia that they can use and then learn on so that they can develop their own capacity. And that capacity would be fantastic for the United States and for all of the nations in the Indo-Pacific who care about stability there. So I think the crawl, walk, run analogy, which I hadn't thought of until you said it, is a really important one. We want to get the Aussies to a place where they have their own production capacity. The only way we can do that in a timely way is through the first step of the Virginia-class deliverables. Their investment in our industrial base, together with our own investment, is going to get us there and benefit both American security and security of Australia and regions of the nation. Have I stated that right, Secretary Carlin?
Senator, you've stated a lot more beautifully than I ever could.
Okay. Well, I don't know about that, but I'll yield back.
A lot more beautifully. What a compliment that is, I'll tell you. And when you took
I meant it as a compliment, to be very clear.
Oh, I was echoing your compliment. Yeah. I wasn't questioning it. When you took Ambassador Rudd there, which submarine did you see?
I brought back a hat from the USS New Jersey and delivered it to my committee chair.
Bravo,